audio. In 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 audio.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to City TV. This is the Best of the Rest show, and we are sponsored by Boohoo Man. Big up to Boohoo Man for sponsoring today's video. You can go and get 40% off Boohoo Man's menswear. All you got to do is scan the QR code next to Premsy. Use your phone, scan it. It will take you right down to boohooman.co.uk. And also, you can go on the link in the description.
I don't know how which way, but it's one of
Yeah.
these ways anyway.
Yeah. Boohoo Man, or use the code down below. Use the code Saeed. Go on to boohooman.com and you can go and get 40% off. Big up to Boohoo Man. But listen, we are here. Best of the Rest, Tuesday, 6 p.m. We're here. We're live and active. Premsy's losing his head after one loss, but it is what it is.
I'm all
Premsy.
good, me. I'm all good. Don't you try putting words in my mouth because you man are back in the title race. You know what it is. Hate United, love Glazers. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that. But no, man, it's this disappointing result and that. But obviously we move, man. My boy down there, Tottenham, over there with his fly drip over there, trying to tell me that was sold out and hard to get. And we know there was plenty of them on the shelf, man. Plenty of them on the shelf. Sorting it out for us, man.
We're not boys when it comes to the Premier League. I hate that if we're gonna get into it, I hate that our result.
Enemies of progress.
I know, I hate it. Yeah, it's so annoying. But it is what it is, and it's one of them ones, you get me? But yeah, I appreciate the little compliments on the swag. You know how we do. It's all good.
Come on. That's the only thing you can guarantee nowadays. Scotland swag. You know what I mean? I know you can't guarantee trophies, but you can guarantee good swag. But Patrick, man, good to have you on as always. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. That was a nice confidence booster on Sunday. You know, I hate that, like I said, that win helped Arsenal, but all in all, we needed that win, 3 points, right behind you lot, and obviously right breathing down Newcastle's neck. Harry Kane 267. We'll get into it. So yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
Absolutely. And man like Carefree Lewis, you know what I mean? What he's telling me, you're good, bro.
I'm all
Man
good.
like,
I'm all good.
man like Midrick and Enzo Fernandez, you know what I mean? Thinking of play side against Fulham. I mean, I'm disappointed because I was expecting an NBA All-Star, football All-Star game. And I was dead, man. What are you, man? Entertain us, man.
You think I even expected a win? I couldn't give a shit about this season, bro. I've been telling you, we might spend another 300 million just for the fun of it. But yeah, through to Fulham, same old bums holding us back, but we'll get into it. But always good to be on. Big up, everybody. Big up.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
love, bro.
man. Big up
Love,
to everybody
love.
locked in, man. Make sure you guys are liking the video, people. It's simply easy for you guys to do it, but we don't do it enough, man. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to everybody's channel. You got man like Premsy, you got Patrick's channel when he wants to upload, and we got Carefree Lewis working hard every day, man. So make sure you guys following the channel and their channels. Samuel Twain says this guy Patrick team beat Man City, came with drip 100. Tell him, bro.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We will discuss that. But listen, we have to kind of fall back on all of that and talk about what's going on. Arsenal fans are getting excited that they're going to get the Premier League. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That they're going to get the help after 18 years. They might get that little help.
Don't need no help, fam. You need to chill out, bro. I'm telling you now. And you know what the biggest
You
thing
really
is,
win
yeah?
it?
Do you know what the biggest thing is? Yeah, I don't want Man City to get no deductions this season. Obviously, moving forward, it's most likely that they won't anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the season that they get found guilty is the season that the points will get deducted from them. But I don't want it to happen right about now, bro. I think where we are is no false position. You know, City have been in the game. Every other team's been playing well as well. Like Newcastle United have got form. But we're just the best of the rest. You get me literally at the moment. And we've earned our spot. So I don't want nothing to hinder it. Because if we do win it and City do drop points, everyone's just going to go on and say, oh, so-and-so, you've only won it because City dropped points and whatnot. But look, we're in a position now because of Tottenham where we could still win our game in hand and go 8 points clear. So it is what it is, fam. I'm telling you now.
Now, listen, I think it's kind of crazy times we were living in. Listen, when I heard about the news, I was like, shit, really? When you actually deep it, like a lot of City fans, don't get me wrong, they need to brush it aside and they kind of not need to focus on it because it is that serious. But Patrick, what have you made of the whole situation with the City's FFP? Like, do you think Man City fans should be worried? You know what I mean, by it because they've won other kind of cases before. Okay, it's not been the Premier League, but they have beaten cases, man. They've done it. So, what do you reckon, man, by this whole situation?
Yeah, you know what? Going off what Femsy said, I think it's important, and I agree. I don't, even though I hate Arsenal right now, they are the best team. They deserve to be where they are. I don't want to see any asterisks next to their title if they win it this year. Let them win it fair and square. The season's not done. Don't get me wrong. Man City could still come back and catch them. Obviously, as it stands right now, we all probably don't think that's the case. But if Arsenal are to win it, let them win it on their own merit because they haven't had a boost in the sense of Man City being deducted points. But as Premsy said as well, it takes so long. It's not going to come into fruition this season anyway, which is good. So if they do get a points deduction, let it be next year. So to be fair, it's a level playing field for every team. Do you know what I mean? So with that being said, 100 cases or 100 charges against them, one of them is going to stick. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff there. Goes back a long time. Yeah, City fans should be worried. And the ones that I know, the good ones, like shout out to Dap, shout out to Jan, they are worried, man, because there's a lot of stuff there. And, it's like the Premier League definitely are onto them now, and something will stick out of those. And, if they have been cheating, because obviously I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about everything, and I don't know much about this, but if they have been cheating and they have been cooking the books and they have been doing dodgy stuff, then so be it, and let them get charged. And if it's an example to the rest of the teams, if other teams are doing dodgy stuff, stop it now, innit? Because at the end of the day, we all love football, and we know that, the bigger team's always going to have an advantage. They've got more money, they've got more buying power, they've got more muscle, but no team should be cooking the books and pretending they're getting sponsorships from a PO box, which is basically not a corporation, shell corporations, this, that. It's not on. So, yeah, it doesn't look good though, man. From what we're seeing and what we're hearing, and more stuff.
Was that what they were being charged for?
Yeah, there's one of them where literally it's like a shell corporation has been pumping money into the club. They said it was a sponsorship deal, but they own that PO box. There's nothing there. It's not a company. and that company was allegedly sponsoring Man City, giving them 10, 20 million a year.
Boy.
And it's literally them funneling the money back into the club. So stuff like that is super dodgy. And, you know.
And even Mancini was getting paid separately from two
Yeah.
different places as well. So it's all a bit of a mad thing, man. Big up Big Steve in the chat, man.
Big Steve's in the chat. Listen,
Big Steve.
Steve's on. Listen, hold on a minute. Big Steve is here to testify anyone. So anyone saying anything false, Big Steve's around. So Patrick,
Okay.
watch your word, watch your
Right,
language.
listen, that's what
Big
I've been
Steve's having a
told,
chat.
That's what I've read.
I don't know. Is this Big Steve phoning me now? No, it's someone else.
Get him in the stream. He's going to be best of the rest soon as well, man. Get him in.
He'll be joining best of the rest soon. Nah, you know what? The Championship best of the rest, mate. I'm telling you. But the Championship apparently don't want Man City. They're like, yo, listen, we don't want you around here. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's going to be Van Rama. I don't know. But listen, Lewis, man, obviously you're next. But what's your situation now with Chelsea? Are you looking at it as, you know, you don't want them to get caught, so you don't get caught? What's your situation?
What do you mean? What do we have to get caught about? What do we have to get caught about? Because I've seen a lot of people saying this. I'd like to know. Well, what do we have to get caught about?
Can I
You'll
just say,
find out in the next couple of years or so.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
Once you not find an excuse. Once you not find an excuse.
It might
But,
be
hey,
your grass,
we've
fam.
been
It might be
checked.
your grass.
We've been checked. Like you lot remember last year in the sanctions, they checked everything involving the name Chelsea. We're clear. We are a morally correct football club, applying everything in morally correct terms. So you don't need to look down Stamford Bridge. We've already been investigated. We're already good.
I don't
listen,
know about
mate.
morally correct and that, you know, funding wars for a long time and that. I don't know about morally correct.
Actually,
What it is, what it is.
Roman was helping Ukraine, but like Boris Johnson would have everyone think otherwise.
But no, honestly though, I get it. You know what I mean? You've done things maybe, you know, before things have kind of come into fruition. And like I said, you know, you've gone into the possibilities of, you've done it right basically without doing it right. That's what I kind of think. But if you look at it though, like it's not about doing it right now. It's like how you've done it. And that's the situation with Man City. Like on the box, it's
amortization.
okay.
Are we talking about the transfers?
Transfers, it could be behind the transfers. Like there's certain situations that you might do that you might not know about. Is that not always going to be in the back of your mind, the way you've done this, spent all this money and etc.? Do you not feel like somehow you're a little bit worried? Or you just kind of like, yeah.
I feel
it's a
like if
Todd
we
bug.
were worried, then every fan should be worried about the way their club does transfers, because that could be with the same bit of probability. Like there's been a lot of eyes on Chelsea, but it's been clear what our plan's been. We've used amortization to balance the books on a year-by-year basis with 8-year contracts. FFP have noticed that. They've noticed what we've done is legal because we found a loophole, and that's why they're getting rid of it for the summer. And that's why we
They don't win the Champions League.
So legally, we've done everything correct.
Say you don't get in the Champions League next year. What happens then? And you don't balance your books, so you don't end up selling players. Say what happens then.
That's a big if, but we've got so many players that we're trying to get rid of. I think we realistically need to get rid of about 5 or 6 at a minimum. I think that's realistic for one summer window. And also, Roman left us debt-free, by the way. So we were already in a good position. We're fine. We are genuinely fine. People want us to get in trouble because of how much we've been spending and because they all thought we were going to be in the mud after Roman, but sometimes you don't get what you want. We're fine. We are fine. I have nothing to worry about. I'm less than 0% worried. I'm in the minuses. We'll be good. We'll be good. It's you guys who aren't debt-free. Maybe you lot need to be looking around.
Just to let you know, you are in the mud after Roman, mate. You're doing up ninth. You just passed Liverpool and that. So you are in the mud currently.
Hey, small progress. We were 10th last week. We're 9th. Now let's see where we are in 2 weeks' time, innit?
Don't worry, Lewis. Them 40 points are coming soon, bro. You'll be all good, man.
Yeah, 10 points, brother. 10 points.
You know what Prem's, you know, like, he tries to paint it out, and rightly so. He's got the evidence, he's got the facts. Chelsea fans will bring the facts, but listen, man, the Premier League might be hot on this now. The fact that now Man City have obviously allegedly about to obviously you've seen the 100 things that they've done wrong. Are Chelsea next, or are we kind of wishing for it? What's your kind of?
You know what, bro? Banter aside, look, there's always going to be hating in football. You know what I mean? Every other opposing fan wants, like, I tell you as it is, if my club went out and spent 600 million in January, I'll be buzzing. I don't think there's any other fan that wouldn't be buzzing. And obviously there is a little bit of hate there because it's not your club doing it. And that's just facts. So I think there's a lot of banter going towards Chelsea. I think what Lewis said is pretty much correct right now. They kind of outlaid their plans pretty much in the open and told people how they're getting these deals over the line, breaking it down over a longer period of time. And like Lewis said, financial fair play, the Premier League, they've all looked at that and they're looking to change the rules shortly. I think with Man City as well, we have to hang fire, even though we know that there's 100 counts against them. You know what Man City are like. They've got money, they've got good lawyers, and they'll be able to fight their case. There's no guarantee that these charges are going to stick. You would 9 out of 10 think one of them 100 charges will stick, but you don't know in it. Like, you really don't know in football. I think over the years, I think a lot of clubs, especially the big clubs, have kind of ganged up on Man City a little bit because what they've been doing over the period of 12, 13 years and trying to pinpoint absolutely everything out on them as well. And you just got to see it as it is, bro. But I think with every single club, they're always going to try to do something a little bit dodgy to get deals over the line. Look at Sinelli, brown envelopes for the Nicolas Pepe deal. It happens in football, but the problem is with Man City, because they've been so successful, and this is going over a period of 14 years, at some point, they're going to have to look at it and think, right, we need to make an example out of someone now so teams stop doing it. And it might just be the case that Man City might be that team, might be that example. We've seen it happen with Juventus as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if something happened, but we've got to wait and see in it. Nothing's a given in football. So we're going to have to just hang around, see what their decision is and see what happens to City. There's been loads of talk of relegation, loads of talks of point deductions and so on. But that's all hearsay in it. When the FA make their decision and they come out final with it, the case is being fought, then everyone's going to know what's what. But with the Chelsea situation, it looks like they've done everything okay at the moment. Bowley's just come in, new owner, and he wants to get everyone on side as well. And what he's done, he's gone out there, spent more money than what Roman Abramovich would have done. And look, the Chelsea fans have took to him, man. So he's doing something right.
Big Steve says Liverpool hacked City's scouting network, paid us 1 million. That's cheating. If City did that, wow. Obviously, you know what I mean, Liverpool did do what they had to do. And listen, I think for me, Patrick, you know what I mean, I think you guys, to be fair, I think you guys, Daniel Levy's always a tight one, isn't it? He's normally with the books. He's normally balanced with the books. You'd probably say that he's a perfect owner. You know what I mean? I know you guys want him out and whatnot, but what are you saying now? You disagreeing there? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think any club is whiter than white, if I'm being honest. And I know right now it's easy to throw, stones at City, and even like they say, he without sin will cast the first stone.
Is it because they never? Is it honestly because of where they came from? And this is no disrespect to City. You know what I mean? I'm saying as a United fan, but is it the jump of how they were portrayed to be? Having all this revenue and whatnot, when in reality, were they bigger than Bayern? Were they bigger than Real Madrid? And I know trophies do equate to that, but it's the jump in that. Maybe that's where
the status quo and the traditional top four and traditional clubs will never accept or like new clubs breaking in. So even if Newcastle start becoming successful, because Newcastle have got Man United in the final in a couple of weeks. If Newcastle start, winning their first trophy, then get top four and then become one of the big boys, you're going to see all the other clubs, all of us lot included, not happy with that. And we're going to be pushing and making sure that Newcastle are whiter than white and they've not done anything dodgy. It's just how it is. No one really wants the new boy, the new kid on the block to come in and flex on them. So, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't think any club's whiter than white. Even Daniel Levy, Joe Lewis, who is, the ENIC owner, there's a lot of talks of how he illegally got most of his funds and yada, yada, yada. Levy's a tight ass. We know that. I mean, Levy's the highest paid chairman in the league. Why is he the highest paid chairman? Tottenham aren't the most successful club. Even that doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know what I mean? I know he runs the ship on a good budget, but if we're talking about football success, on the pitch success, we're not nowhere near the rest of you guys. So there's always dodgy stuff going on. The fact that we employed Paratici, who is under investigation in Italy, let's not forget that. So
that's a bit bad as well when you think about it.
So, Paratici's wheeling and dealing. He was here in January. When that first come out, I was like, shit, are we not going to be able to get deals across the line because of that? He kind of went quiet. He wasn't on the forefront like he usually is. Usually you see him at all the games screaming, shouting, always on his phone. He kind of took a step back, but we did do some deals in the end. So even him, fuck knows what's going to happen with that, because obviously Juventus are in the mud and he was part of that. Bentancur and Kulusevski come from there. So, I can't be here like being a hypocrite when, we don't know what's even going on at Tottenham. So, and I believe all clubs do it, even Leeds United. All these clubs are doing something dodgy. It's just whether they get caught or not. And I think Fremzy made a good point. They have to make an example. We all know football is a corrupt sport. When there's millions and billions on on the line and at stake, people are going to cheat and do dodgy stuff. Of course, the Premier League have to make an example out of someone at some point, and maybe, unfortunately, Man City are just the whipping boys at the moment. Who knows? But again, none of it might stick. You think Man City are not going to fight this tooth and nail and get the best lawyers in the world to back their corner? Come on, like, it's going to go back and forth. I don't think anything's going to be done like anytime soon. So we'll see.
Absolutely. And again, we'll see what with the Newcastle situation as well. You know what I mean? Now they're not spending recklessly. So maybe is that a reason why? We'll have to find out, man. But for now, you get me? I don't know how long this will take. For as long as they've investigated, it could take that amount. You know what I mean? You just don't know before you kind of find out what's going on. Big up to Kane. They said Liverpool and their inhalers should be on that list. Listen, man, that'll be a long investigation, mate. I'm telling you now. But listen, let's talk about football. Arsenal, bro, what you feeling, man? Premsy, setback on the weekend. Sean Dyche hit you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see that one coming, did you?
Do you know what? It's funny enough that you say I didn't see it coming. I had a feeling it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, in my preview, I said if we get an early goal, then the floodgates will open a little bit for the Arsenal, because when we do score early, it normally spurs us on to go and do something good in the game. But at the same time, it's not surprising at all. We have a very bad record at Goodison. We haven't won there since 2017. And it's known in football, you have a new manager bounce, and you got to give Everton massive credit. They deserve that victory right from the minute get-go, right to the end. You get me? Sean Dyche came in, brought all strong lads in, played 3 centre defensive midfielders, doubled up on each winger in Saka and Martinelli, made them have a poor game. We had just a really bad performance throughout the whole team. Martinelli weren't good enough. For me, Saka had an opportunity cleared off the line. He was still trying to make things happen, but he didn't have no support from Ben White over the right. You know what I mean? Overlapping or anything. So he had a poor game. Only Aaron Ramsdale could take a little bit of praise out of that game. Everybody had a very poor game. And I think that's straight down to Sean Dyche, the way he kind of managed the game and also how he set it out. Everyone knows Arsenal very good on the press. Every time they got the ball, they hit it up long. They broke that cycle straight away. May could have to fight for balls. Onana played out of his skin. But look, you can't win them all, Saeed. You get me? You can't go through the season winning absolutely every game. It's just not going to happen, especially with the level of competitiveness that we have in the league now. It's only our second defeat. So, like I said earlier on, it would have been worse if City got the victory and closed it down to 2 points. But Tottenham obviously helped us out a little bit. They got the victory. It's still the way it is. Now, yous boys are back in the title race and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, isn't it, bro? You know what I mean? But it's not all bad in it. It's not all doom and gloom. If we have a little mistake against Brentford now and end up losing there, then it's going to start becoming a bit of an issue. But I think the boys will pick themselves back up from this. I think they'll learn from it and they'll move forward. It'll give them that motivation and a little bit of a wake-up call to not get complacent, because now it's coming towards the back end of the season. We need to really put all our eggs in the basket, focus, and just give it everything we got. Now, personally, I think this will make Arteta look at the team a little bit differently. Maybe bring in the likes of a Trossard and let Martinelli sit on the bench for a bit, because we've not been seeing the best Martinelli for a little bit now. And Gabriel Jesus is back in training. Hopefully he can get added into the squad soon. And it should go from there back to there. So it's not all doom and gloom, man. You can't win every game. And you got to give Everton credit, man. Sean Dyche came in. They had that new manager bounce. And also you seen Morpay, he did an interview afterwards with Rio Ferdinand and Joel. And he was saying that every player was up for it. Every player wanted to show the manager that we want to be playing week in, week out. And that was the perfect game to play. The top of the table, come to the ground. There's no better example to set, man. So we move, man. We move. I'm confident against Brentford. It's just a little slip up.
Big up Matisse in the chat. Listen, man, we here, man. We here. We're participating
They're trying to spin it any way they can, bro. Any way they can.
We're participating in all inquiries, man. You know what I mean? So we're here to investigate different people, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here, man. We're trying to be the positive role models out here. You know what I'm saying? But big up to Matisse. But you know what it is though? Patrick, man, it's one of them, innit? Like someone said, hey, if they lose the next game, that's three losses straight with City next after that. So it's one of them, like Brentford's not gonna be an easy game, you know. Like Brentford's not going to be an easy game. Like they've got to bounce back.
It's not for everyone, innit? We went there and beat them 3-0 this season. Look what they did
At
to
home,
you
mate.
boys.
Playing them at home.
Yeah, and
Playing
that's
them at home.
even better at home, innit? We haven't lost at home this season, so I'm confident in that. And plus, Brentford ain't gonna just sit there and hold back. Brentford come to play football, so it kind of plays in our hands, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not an easy game. I mean, I think Everton, I said it yesterday on what is it, Fem Unpacked. Everton was the perfect storm. New manager, players playing out of their skin to prove they deserve to be in that team. Dyche mixed it up and he went for pace and power in the midfield. 3 raw athletes and they were just all over it. Everton, you could see every player was playing on 150%, and Arsenal just weren't really ready for that battle. And unfortunately, they got beat. And Everton deserved to win. They definitely had the better clear-cut chances. But, you know, Brentford at home, Brentford are a good team. Brentford and Fulham are the banana skin kind of teams in the league. Teams that you expect, and Brighton this season. Teams that you should beat, as in all of us lot. But if you don't play at 100%, they can beat you. They've got quality. They've got guys that can finish. They've got guys that will obviously, you know, embarrass you if you don't play to your capabilities. But Arsenal being at home, I expect them, unfortunately, I just got to keep it real. I expect Arsenal to win. But we will see what Arsenal are made of because it's not an easy game. But realistically, if Arsenal play to their capabilities, they kind of walk all over them. Let's be real. But you just hope that there's a mistake or two. Ivan Toney's on beans, you know, it's one of their midfielders has a good game defensively. Ben Mee and all of them boys play to their potential. Raya, the goalkeeper, makes a few good saves, and you just don't know, innit? Just stay in the game. And
do you know what?
Happens.
Funny enough, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure after we lost to United at Old Trafford, the next game was Brentford that we went on and beat 4-0. It's kind of happened. And we've seen that this season where we have bounced back. People talking about this will be the 3rd loss. I agree, but it's only the 2nd loss in the Premier League. I think that FA Cup game, Arteta kind of threw all his eggs in the basket for the Premier League. And you can see that with the starting lineup that he played. He wasn't as charismatic on the touchline and stuff. And even then, we went kind of toe-to-toe with City. He had to take Nathan Ake to score a goal in order for them to beat us in that particular game. So I think this is just a setback. I think everything that was going around Everton, it was just wrote in the stars for them to win that game. I'm telling you now, it was just wrote in the stars. And they deserved it. We were lucky not to be down 1-2 goals in the first half, man. But hopefully, I'm looking to see something different from the boys, especially at home.
HK Moose says Martinelli's been isolated. Arsenal tend to play towards the right-hand side, and Saka has players to play with. And I think he also said Arteta hasn't rotated. You know what I mean? Tierney overlaps more than Zinchenko. You know what, Lewis? Let me bring you to it. Do you reckon Arteta's becoming a bit predictable maybe with his lineups? Obviously, in the title running, you need to switch it up. That's what I kind of got with Fergie. You know what I mean? When we were winning titles, like he switched up the team, refresh it, make sure other people are getting game time. The fact that now they're playing the same team every week, does it become a bit more predictable for teams just kind of be like, you know what, we know what they're going to do now, so let's maybe kind of stop them?
A little bit, because I understand that, but I also think like Arsenal slip up. It was just kind of the fact you're playing Sean Dyche and Everton. Like Sean Dyche is that sort of manager who you don't really want to play when you're in form because he just completely stifles your attacking play. And we saw it in that game against Everton. Slip-ups are going to happen. I have seen some Arsenal fans start panicking. I think that's just because they're not really used to being in this sort of situation, but I wouldn't panic too much. There's still 5 points clear. All depends on the Man City game, and I still think if they beat Man City, yeah, they are probably title favourites at that point, even I'll have to put my hands up. But now they have rotation options. Trossard, Agent Jorginho as well. Big up to the L as well, my guy. Now they have rotation options. They can utilize them. And but there are tough games coming up. I think Brentford, they're on an unbeaten run. City, I do think they'll turn up for that game as well, even if they didn't turn up for Tottenham. But yeah, I think Arsenal will be fine most round. They've got the rotation options they need. They got Jorginho. They got that Kiwior guy. They've got Trossard. I think you signed 1 or 2 other players as well. I can't recall, but you have options. You've got options there.
Now, I think it's going to be a big game, man. Brentford, I can't lie to you, they're on an impressive form, and you know what? They'll be in the best of the rest soon, man, because right now, them Brighton, and I think it's Fulham, bro, they're top of Liverpool and Chelsea, man. They ain't no joke. You know what I mean? So, fair play to that team.
Not for long. Not for long.
Not for long, mate. Listen, mate, forget about Europa League. You need to get me Champions League football, mate. We need to expect, and we want Champions League football this season from Chelsea. So
Oh yeah. No, that won't be happening, my friend. So
that will be happening because we are going to be putting you accountable at the end of the season, and if you haven't got Champions League football with that super squad, mate, then
judge
I'm
us at
sorry,
the
man.
end of next season, not at the end of this. We still have Mason Mount and Kai Havertz starting every week. Nothing will change.
Oh my days, mate. Oh my days. But nah, listen, I think for me, with Arsenal, it was a case of again, Tottenham, bro, you man bailed them out, man. You get me? Like Tottenham did their thing, but at the same time, Tottenham needed to do. I always say, yeah, you have to support your team, Patrick. It's one of them. Like I know you're thinking of Arsenal in the
I
league.
know,
but
I know.
just embrace, like
You know
you
what?
lot
Obviously, when I said what I said a couple of weeks ago, when I thought we would beat Arsenal at home, and then I was like, for the top 4 challenge, obviously we don't need as many points as what Arsenal would need. So I was happy to beat Arsenal at home because typically Tottenham beat Arsenal at home, Arsenal beat Tottenham at home. And then
That's not how I heard it, fam. That's not how I heard it. I'm
it's
telling you now.
It's exactly
Even
how it
Saeed
was.
clipped that and put that on
Yeah,
Twitter.
you clip it, but that
Yeah,
was
man.
my thesis behind it. Like we would beat Arsenal at home because we always do, and then I'll be happy to concede the 2, losses to City because it would have got the jump on you lot because we would have taken 3 points off you, and then City beating us twice would have given them +6, and it would have been tight. They would have been 2 points ahead of you, blah blah blah. But it didn't go that way. And then when I saw, excuse me, I saw Man United win their game, saw Newcastle pick up a point. I was like, shit, they're actually getting away from us. So we had to go into that game and win. But like I said, and I'm going to keep it 100, it was a game that I really wanted to win. But if we did lose, I wouldn't have been as angry as I would have when we lose a game. Do you know what I mean? Just because of the implications it would have given Man City chasing Arsenal. But at the end of the day, I wanted to win the game, and I'm glad we did. We turned up. Best I've seen us play in a while. Even though Man City are going to have a lot of the ball, when they had the ball, we were brave. We pushed up high. We held a high line. We used Romero and Dyer to almost counter press and act as, basically they were leading the front line with the attackers pressing the ball. That's how Højbjerg made Rodri make that bad mistake when he was trying to find the youngster. And then we jumped onto that nice slide through assist to Kane. Kane firing in with his first touch, and yeah, we were a more dangerous team, man.
What is it with you with City though? What is it like? Why do you guys turn up against City? It's a
weird.
madman.
It's like it's just like they're our bogey team, or we're their bogey team, man.
Yeah, you're their bogey team. Yeah,
Champions League games, home games. But to be fair, I think again, it's like I keep using this term. It was a perfect storm again. Kane was dying to get that record goal. It was against Man City, a team that messed him about, and he should have went there. At home, in front of the the lights, everyone watching the game. It's like sometimes like Femzi said, some of these things like written in the stars. You just know it was about to happen. You knew Kane was going to score. Probably you knew Tottenham was going to win that game just because. And to be fair, we played fantastic. Eric Dyer, who I hate at the moment, he had a great game. The fact that I wasn't talking about him shows he was good. Haaland didn't really do much, and I don't know if it's the fact that he was shackled or if they didn't look for him, or if it's a bit of both. I think when Romero went in with that crunching tackle in the halfway line, I was going crazy, like, why are you doing that? But then when I look back at it, I was like, you know what? Him leaving something on Haaland, I think that shook him up after that. Haaland didn't want anything after that, man. And yeah, I just think we played a great game. And to be fair, if we were more clinical, we could have easily scored 2 or 3 more goals. We had a lot of opportunities. Kane was through and should have scored. When he was through on goal one-on-one with Ederson, and Ederson saved it and it bounced off him and went out. Son was in quite a few times, just didn't make the right thing. There was a time when Perisic was through, slid the ball into Kane. Kane just missed it. He was through on the back stick, tap in. We had a lot of good chances. Kulu had a few chances. So I think we were the better team, man. And yeah, credit to Stellini, the assistant coach. Who knows, if Conte was coaching, maybe he wouldn't have been as brave, because I do feel Stellini was a bit more braver and just said, push up, pressure them, don't give them as much time. No
pressure on them, innit?
Exactly. Put pressure on them. Make them make mistakes. As good as they are on the ball, players will make mistakes if they're under pressure and they're hounded. And yeah, it was good. It was good to see. I think also Pep played into our hands. Sometimes Pep overdoes it. How can you not start De Bruyne in a game like that? That's crazy.
No sense.
Exactly. It's just criminal, really. It's like you're just giving Tottenham an advantage. Really weird. Who else? Yeah, it's just strange things he keeps doing. Rico Lewis playing as a fullback in a game of that magnitude. Man. Yeah, too big of a responsibility in a game away from home against obviously a good team like on their days in Tottenham. So strange, but I'll take it all day long, man. And of course, it's annoying that it helped Arsenal, but at the end of the day, we've got our own battle in it. At the end of the day, if Arsenal to win the league or mess up, they're going to do it on their account. But we need to chase you guys, Saeed, and Newcastle. We're right in the mix now. So, yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle dropping points, man. It's mad. But you know what? Let me ask you a question. And listen, anybody can answer it, so don't feel like it's to anybody. But Haaland or Kane, yeah? If you had to choose one, who would you choose?
I'll let you boys go first. So
What, right now?
No, just in general. As a striker, yeah? You had to pick Haaland or Kane. Who would you choose?
What, for just one season, or are you looking for the future for your club? Because obviously it's a bit different. Obviously, Haaland's a lot younger. He's got a good high ceiling. He's an old school number 9 who does his actual job.
Don't look at age as a big factor, but just look at it right now. Who would you have?
Right, if you look now, just in general or for my team?
For your team.
If you look overall, you got to think Kane's a much better player overall in it, because he doesn't only just get the goals, but how he assists for other people, how he's quite influential in the game. He's not just there looking for the ball. If he can't get it, he'll go out and get it. You got to give Kane that kind of props in it. But I think if he was asking me who would I take for the club for the future or just in general, I would have to probably go with Haaland, because what the guy's done in this league so far is just unbelievable, bro. And his job is to actually score goals, and that's what he's doing as an out-and-out number 9. So it's a bit of a hard one. Obviously, with Kane's age, that's the only thing that will make me think, you know what, can he last a few years in the team, or is he going to start slowing down? Where with Haaland, the guy's got so much to grow. It's unreal. But if you're talking one season, I think Kane's overall ability is better.
I think everything you said is spot on, but for me, it has to be Kane all day long. The great thing, you know, the point you made about his age is valid, but he's 29, and the fact is Kane isn't someone that will run and run and run. He looks after his body fantastically. There was a lot of things about him being injury prone, but he's not a guy that picks up knocks. He's not a guy that picks up niggles. He's in ultimate, premium shape. He looks after himself, as you can see, ultimate professional. And his numbers are crazy. I mean, he's the fastest to 200 goals in Premier League history. Something like, obviously, there's only 3 guys in that 200 club. Alan Shearer's on 260, Wayne Rooney on 208, Kane on 200 now. And I think he got there in 3 games faster than Alan Shearer. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking at it quickly, 158 less games than Rooney. So the numbers are insane. 200 goals in 304 games, 17 in 22 this season. The guy's just phenomenal, and it's season after season after season. Hence why the numbers are where they are already. He's already.
But again, if you look at Haaland and you say if you give Haaland that same amount of time inside the league, bro, he'll probably blow them numbers out the water. Look what he's done already this season, bro.
He might not do, but it's a small sample size, isn't it? Like Kane's been consistent for 8, 9
No, I hear that, but you can only go off evidence of what you've seen and what you've seen so far from Haaland, which is pure facts. What has he got? The fastest to 3 hat tricks? He's scored 25 goals in the Premier League already.
I hear what you're saying, but also as well, we've seen players, and I'm not saying it's going to be Haaland because I do think Haaland is amazing, but we've seen players have a great season and then fall off. It could happen where Kane's numbers have been consistent for, like, the sample size is so much higher and so much more. So I don't know, and I do.
You know what it is for me?
Yeah,
with Haaland. Yeah, go on, Lewis.
No, I was going to say for me, because like Kane's just been here for longer, and I think, like you said, he's been more consistent. But if you're also making the argument of who suits whose club more, we need someone who could actually make their own goals as well. And Harry Kane is a lot better than at that than what we'd say Haaland is. Haaland needs to rely on service, and in terms of finishing, levels clear of Kane. That we can all agree on. But
what? No. I don't think he's level in terms of.
Okay, maybe levels a bit far, but I'd give it to him over Kane still.
I ain't seen Haaland whip the ball in from left foot, right foot outside the box, and I'm not saying he can't do it.
He scored a perfect hat-trick.
Yeah, but not from the. You look at the goals Kane scored. Like even remember when we beat you lot 4-2 or 4-1 at Stamford Bridge, and Kane scoring from literally 20, 30 yards out and stuff like that.
Yeah, his first season.
Goals against Leicester, he scored, whipped it left foot, right foot. The goal against Arsenal where he cut.
Both different types of strikers now. Yeah. Obviously, Harry Kane, as he's got older, has adapted his game a little bit. This is what I said from the get-go. Obviously, somebody put in there, Premsy is so biased that obviously you must need to clean your ears out because I don't understand what you've just heard. But like I was saying, is realistically, if you was to take him over a period now, you'd have Kane because he offers more as a player. if you was to look for the long period with Kane's age, you would have to go for Haaland. It's simple as that. And I don't think anybody else would probably disagree.
And the thing is, it's a good point, because look how Kane has changed and adapted his game. If Haaland's as good as we think he is, he will also adapt and elevate his game and tune it a bit. And, you know, like you said, for me, Haaland does need to start creating his own goals. But then if you're playing in the team with Man City and there's so much talent, you don't really need to do that. So it's different, isn't it? It's different strokes for different folks, but both are insane. You know, you wouldn't be angry with either, if I'm being honest.
I just think, for me, I don't think Haaland scores the type of goals that Kane scores, and in the long run, that's why Harry Kane is where he is. That's why Wayne Rooney is where he is. That's why Alan Shearer, of all people, is where they are. I don't think Haaland scores them goals, them difficult angles that Harry Kane scores, them difficult angles that Wayne Rooney scores. You know, I just don't think he scores them kind of goals. He's heavily reliant on serve, like every striker is.
He is in the right place at the right time, though, Saeed, and you got to give him that. That's an ability of its own, man.
Yeah, he is. And I think for me, you know, with Harry Kane, it's just kind of, sometimes he'll drop off the shoulder and then boom, he's gone, and then he'll drop into different parts of the pitch, and then he'll pick up the ball here, and then with Haaland, you have to play ball into space and then he charged forward. There was a point in the game, I don't know if you've seen the game, but De Bruyne tried to play it into Haaland. Then you thought, shit, Haaland's gone now. Luckily, I think it was Eric Dyer or someone came back and then came in to sweep the ball. That's Haaland right there. Whereas Harry Kane, look at his movement. Look at a goal, for example. Look at a goal against Man City. He drops into a space. He peels away from defenders. And it's that intelligence for me. I don't know if Haaland's got that, and we shouldn't say that.
I disagree a bit, bro, because them 25 goals that Haaland scored for Man City, bro, I'm telling you, you see some very intelligent movements, pulling off from defenders, coming to the near post, coming to the back post. And obviously, it's a big argument because they're both world-class strikers, and you got to say that. I mean, we were discussing this on Premier League Unpacked yesterday, and I was giving Kane his fair due credit and saying, you know what, there's a lot of people out here that try to belittle Kane a bit because he hasn't won the big accolades and not call him a world-class striker, where in my opinion he is. But I think just because Kane does certain things, obviously both players can't be exactly the same. And if you look at how Harry Kane started his career, he was very much like a Haaland, where he was more or less in the box and he wasn't doing what he's doing now. So it's a bit of a mad one, really. They're both good in their own right, innit, when you deep the situation.
100%. And that's why I even said that Haaland can develop and become like Kane, because in the early stages, Kane was a fox in the box. Yeah, we could shoot from outside, but he was literally in the box like Haaland. Obviously, he didn't have the pace to run off the shoulder like Haaland does. But yeah, I think Haaland will adapt his game if he stays in the Prem. For me, I just don't know if Haaland's going to stick around for 6-7 years. I could see a Real Madrid or Bayern Munich snapping him up, you know, so I don't know. But the numbers are insane. And if he continues, he's going to hit about 35 goals, which is just fucking unbelievable. So, yeah, scary.
No, it is scary, man. It is scary, man. But listen, man, it's a title race. It's out there. Man City just don't look it. You know what I mean? Obviously, he leaves Man United lurking around. I've given my opinion. I think listen, I don't think we're in the title race. I genuinely don't. I think that we have depth, but I don't think we have the quality of depth. I don't think we're there consistency wise. Maybe at home we are, but away from home, I'm not sure. And I just don't
that's
think
a question over the length of it. Right now, I think you guys are in it.
Based on what?
Oh, you're what? You're only 3 points off City, and you play on Wednesday. Could go level, and we'll say City's in a title race. So why wouldn't we say United are?
Yeah, they are. They're in it. They're in it.
You're talking about, do you think United can win it? That's a different question. Are you in the conversation right now? Yeah. Yeah, you're in the conversation.
I disagree, man. I don't think they're in the title conversation. I think it's Arsenal and City. I respect Man United, and I think they're definitely a good looking for top four. But to say they're in the title conversation
right now, they are. They're close enough to be.
You know what, Lewis? I'm with you, and that's not even putting no joking thing on it. I'm being serious. You got to look at it with facts in it. They're not a million miles away when it comes to numbers. Obviously, we know where Patrick's hating a bit because there's not Tottenham in that position.
No.
But look, man, if they win, they go on points with City. As we all know, look, even in the City game against Tottenham, I think, obviously not trying to put no shade on your victory because it was very good and I wanted you to win, but I think it was kind of a perfect time to play Man City as well. I think Pep Guardiola is kind of having a bit of a breakdown in certain situations, losing his dressing room. He could be, because look at Cancelo, disappeared. You got Silva wants to leave the club. He's benching Kevin De Bruyne. He's not even playing Ruben Diaz, which is a madness. People are not even really putting that forward to you front.
Right.
Ruben Diaz has been one of Man City's best players over the last couple of years. How is he not getting a game? And this FFP news as well, this could have probably hit them a day before it got released or a couple of days before it got released as well, just to give them a bit of a warning.
You too.
So it all could have played, man.
Chelsea after the sanctions, it does shake you. So if anything, United, you lot could be the closest. And you know how we said all season about like for the greater good. You man might need to step up. You might need to step up. You might not think you're ready, but you have to be ready.
Gotta create allegiance, you know. What's going on here?
Greater good, brother.
Let's go.
Listen, I would love it if we won the league, but it's because we're in 4 competitions, because we're stretched with our squad. I just don't think it's a formality. Yes, it's a possibility, but a formality for me. There has to be a lot of things going your way, and I think
United fans are just, they don't want the pressure, do they? They don't want the pressure.
You lot were sweating over this title race till now. So talk about pressure, like
No. Don't talk about me, fam. I've been saying it from I've been saying this right from the get-go, bro. Since we've been at the top of the table, I've said there's always a possibility for us to win it. We're in the title race until we're not in it no more. But no, what I said, bro, the good thing about YouTube is it's all stated and it's all down in it. You get me, bro?
Mathematically, or did you say that with chess that you think you're in a title race?
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Every podcast I'm on, bro, man talks with chess, bro. Tell me I'm wrong, fam.
Did you have that belief, like real belief that you know what? When did you have
that? After the first game? No, obviously, bro, it's one game in, innit? But as we've progressed into the season and it's been 10 games gone and we're doing very, very well. Of course, bro. A lot of Arsenal fans have been positive, thinking, you know what? It's just the PTSD over the years where a lot of Arsenal fans at the same time are thinking, no, we're not in it because we always tend to see the fall off. But what, we're in February now, we're still top of the table, bro. Like, personally, like, we are in the race. We could just say, oh, Man City have a history of getting 8 points, 12-point leads, and that we're out of it fully. Do you know what I mean? We could just take the pressure off us and say, oh, we're in a false position. We shouldn't really be here. Nobody expected us to be at the top of the table. But no, we're going with it. We're believing in our team and we're hoping for the best. United fans, bro, they were in a title race up until they played Crystal Palace. They got beat by, Drew Palace, beat by Arsenal, and they're all out of it again. No, I mean, nah. I remember speaking to you, and you were saying, we beat Palace, we beat you, we were a point behind you.
No, listen,
came out your mouth, fam.
But most of it doesn't come from real belief. Listen, I'm giving banter. We were testing the waters, but ultimately,
look, you got to look at it with like it, Saeed, bro. Look, Lewis is right, bro. Look, you're 3 points behind Man City. Man City are in the title race, innit? Like, if you guys win your next game and you go level on points with Man City, why can't you be in a title race? When you brought Ronaldo, you were expecting to win the league, and that was only a couple seasons back. Now you've got a world-class manager that most United fans are saying.
Also playing City in a few weeks too, so that gap will get smaller with one of those teams too, as long as you guys keep doing your job.
But this is it, man. This is it, bro. Listen, I think for me, there's a lot to kind of happen before I can fully say it, but for me right now, it is game by game.
It's okay to say it, bro. We don't.
No, it's not. It's not about. No, hold on a minute.
I'm sitting on the fence, fam.
No, it's not about sitting on the fence. It's about knowing what the team and what the situation is. The situation is we're in 4 competitions, and there's a lot to juggle around. So my belief isn't there yet.
The Carabao Cup's only one game, innit? So
it's one game, but it's sandwiched.
Forget about the competitions, innit? You know what I mean? It's not like that's going to have a massive impact on the Premier League.
You've got Europa League. You've got
you'll get knocked out by Barca anyway. So that's
man. Christensen's got something for you. Don't worry about that. Focus on the league.
Listen, man. We'll see. They look good, Barcelona. By the way, they look good. They look good, man. What about Chelsea, man? What about Chelsea? What's their what is situation? What's going on with over there? Like Graham Potter, I'm hearing. He's a PE coach and that. I'm seeing on Spaces and that. It's mad right now. What's going on?
Yeah, just everyone raging over the Fulham game. We saw progress. We went from losing to Fulham to drawing to Fulham. We're down to 10 points, 10 points from safety. But yeah, it's the same old players starting, which are causing the same old issues. I get with injuries, like we were never going to have the greatest of lineups, but we didn't need to play Mount, Gallagher, and Havertz. Chelsea fans are calling that the Bermuda Triangle of Chelsea because whenever the ball goes inside, it disappears. And it's a very, very fair analogy because they're all just turnover merchants, the three of them. Havertz had 3 clear-cut chances in the first half, missed all of them, typical. But for some reason, we don't want to play Aubameyang or Fofana instead. Mount was half of the reason why Mudryk didn't even have a good game because he decided, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the left winger for this game. And then Mudryk had to drop deeper, but typical Mount. Gallagher just confused as fuck. At least we're defensively solid. Like, that's our 3rd clean sheet in a row. I guess you want to start from the back and keep building. Enzo looked good. Madueke looked good. That's about it, really. We got dominated by Fulham for most of that game in spite of all of that. So just the same old shit. But that's on Potter because he needs to stop playing the same shit players.
And also, he needs to relax with the substitutions, man. Man just bought on 3 or 4 guys and just thought it's going to change. Like, it's very difficult, Patrick. You have a front 3 and then you change it straight away. I know you have to change things to kind of produce a result, but he has to be very careful as to what subs he makes. Like, you need to create a rhythm. And if you're then going to bring on 3 or 4 changes and then you got to start again and find another fluidity. So he needs to relax with his substitutions as well, man.
Yeah, but we also got to put things into context. He's a new manager in a new team with so many new signings and players. So you can't ask Graham Potter what his best 11 or best 15 is. He doesn't know. So he's tinkering and mixing things up. And obviously he was still trying to get something out of that game. It wasn't working. Enzo, was it Mudryk only got 45 minutes? One of them only got 45 minutes. And he changed it. So he's still trying to get to know these players and get to know the team and obviously them being 10th in the league, or 9th in the league now, sorry. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. So I don't know. So even though we know Lewis is messing around and bantering, we do get what he's saying when you can't judge him this year. From next year, clean slate, go again. He'll know his team and know his players. He'll have a summer to work with them, really get to understand the squad. Because right now, no one knows what Chelsea are going to do. No one knows what team they're going to put out. No one knows how they're going to play. No one knows the patterns of play. No one understands who defensively they're going to be partnered with. There's just too many things going on there for them to have a consistent run. So I can't really see them doing anything constructive this year. But we just hope that Graham Potter uses his time to understand the players. So, yeah, there will be a lot of tinkering. And with 5 subs as well, Saeed, it does allow you to sometimes overdo it. Or take a gamble because you can just bring someone off. If there was 3 subs, you probably wouldn't see all of this messing around.
What do you reckon, Premsy? Because obviously, has he got an impossible task here? Because I don't know, man. I feel like for me, he's going to be damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Like, it's a bit of a impossible task for me because he's got to basically sort out all of these players, find a balance, find a chemistry, and just make it right. And like I said, would he have wanted all these players? Yes, but at the same time, the magnitude of how many players he's got is ridiculous for any manager to deal with.
No, definitely. I think with Graham Potter, you're going to have to definitely give him some time. And he's coming from a team in Brighton that are not used to spending big money, having probably big egos knocking around to come into Chelsea. And the dressing room's probably a bit of a madness. Everyone's on big wages. They've come for big price tags. People are going to be thinking they're better than the other. You got people like Aubameyang that not even being put in the Champions League team. And bad eggs can be in that dressing room. He's got to take his time, figure out who the bad eggs are, get them out of the dressing room, implement his style of play, make everybody understand what he wants to give. And then he's got to take it from there. But at the same time, spending all that kind of money, bringing in players like Fernandes, Mudryk, all these kind of guys, you expect to see some kind of lift in that club. And at the moment, you're not really seeing a lift. They're just kind of stagnated where they are. So it won't put it past me if they end up getting rid of him. I won't say this season, but next season, trying to look for a new challenge because the owner might look at it and think he don't know how to manage the big guys, or he might be out of his comfort zone. And Chelsea are a team that want instant success. They want to be fighting for the title, and credit to them because that's what it's all about winning titles and trying to win. So you're going to have to give him a little bit of time, in my personal opinion. Whether Chelsea would do that, I'm not too sure. Obviously, I don't really follow them too tough, so I don't know what their plans are with Potter. But having so many players integrated into the team, Patrick touched on it as well. He doesn't know his best 11 just yet, which I think is key. And is all somebody said in the comments. Chelsea next season, they're going to have a full pre-season to understand their players, understand the system, and you're probably going to see a better Chelsea next season, 100%. But for me, they need to go and sign a striker. They've spent all the money, but they haven't gone there and replaced Havertz.
Mhm.
And he's a bag of shit, my man. You get me? He can't hit the barn door. So
Reach
it's
into
a
the
bit
choir,
crazy, man.
bro.
It's crazy, bro, man. I think in the summer, I think they've, like I said before, they've done all this business now because they honestly don't believe they're going to get top four. And when you're not in the Champions League, it's very hard to bring players in over the line that you want, because other big players, especially strikers and all of that, they're going to be looking at clubs that are in the Champions League and wanting to move to them. So they're going to have to stick with what they've got for now. I can't see them bringing in any massive signings. They probably look, and they need to use the network that they brought from Brighton to scout players as well, man, because Brighton have been doing a good job. They brought Potter in, a lot of his gang in. They need to go and actually, everyone don't have to be 100 million to be a success in it. And I think this is what Chelsea need to realise, but they need to clear the books first of all.
It's true. It's true.
Mm.
What? Obviously, Felix will be back in it next game.
Thank the Lord. Yeah.
Who you got next game?
West Ham away, early kickoff. Hate going to that ground. It's not
Oh,
going to be good.
that's a toughie, you know. That's a
I remember last season you got beat there, innit?
Yep. Yeah, we were doing the watch along together, bro. That last
Yeah.
10 minutes was not nice.
That was mad. Mendy was a howler. Obviously, Mendy's not in the team anymore. But listen, West Ham, I'm not saying they're picking up a bit of form, but they seem to turn a little corner. You know what I mean? They're at home. You know, bro, it's
London
a mad
derby. London derby
London
as well.
derby as well. Bro,
Mhm.
it could be blowing bubbles, mate. It could be blowing bubbles for you lot. But Felix coming back will be
Oh,
a massive
yeah.
plus, though.
Does
Coventry-
Felix start? Does Felix go automatically into the starting lineup?
Has to
Yeah.
moonwalk straight into that lineup.
For who?
I don't
Who does he
care.
replace?
Mount, Havertz,
Mitchell.
whoever, pick one.
They play him up front. I think they should
Mitchell's
play
in
him up front, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Yiz will win that game, man. I don't think West Ham are that great, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
It depends on the lineup. I don't know what dimension of hell our midfield's going to look like. It all depends on who's back from fitness. Potter, I've said I'll give him all the time to implement his style of play, but I'm going to be on to him if I see Mount and Havertz in the lineup again. Because at this point, I'm going to be looking at him and thinking, okay, I can get annoyed at these two for being crap every game, but you're starting them. You're keeping them in the lineup. And we can all see that there are two worst players every single week. So I need to see something from him. He's got the balls to drop a Aubameyang from the Champions League squad, which I still didn't really understand, but whatever. Now our only striker in the Champions League is going to be Havertz. Brilliant. Didn't think we were winning that anyway. But you can make the big decisions for the Premier League. Havertz can come out. You could put Fofana, you could put Aubameyang in there. Mount can come out. You can put
Fofana looks quality as well, by the way. Sorry to cut you, but he looks good
we've
player,
barely
man.
even seen that guy play, and it's like, cool. The little patch I'm seeing from him is already better than everything I'm seeing from Kai before that. Why aren't you giving him an opportunity? If you don't rate Aubameyang, give Fofana a game. Even if he plays like crap, it will be like, whatever. You're changing things up. You're not letting the same complacent players play in. Felix goes straight in for Mount. Gallagher, you could put Lewis Hall in there. You could put Chukwuemeka, whoever you want. Just not Gallagher. That's what I need to see from him next week. Because if I see the same players, I'm going to be on Potter's neck, regardless of whether we win or not. But that will be what decides the game. Because, yeah, West Ham, I'm not confident for. We literally just never win there. I think we've got 2 wins at that ground since they moved in, and about 4 or 5 losses or something. Even with them in the relegation zone, like,
I didn't even know that.
Say nothing to me. Nottingham Forest, we went there. We didn't even get a touch in their box the entire second half. We're just getting pammed the whole second half. So anything could happen. Anything could happen.
You know what's crazy? For me, it's one of them where, you know, a fast start for West Ham and then they gain confidence. So if you don't beat West Ham, like, seriously, like, I was watching, was it Kepa's interview? He said, like, no excuses now. Even if we're a new team, we still have to be winning games, man. You know what I mean? That's where my kind of situation is with Chelsea fan. They can't have this excuse of teams and players gelling. They need to win games, man.
I agree as well. Like, fact is, still need our 10 points. Then they got to come from somewhere, first and foremost. But on a serious level, I do need to see us improve as a team, even if I don't think we're getting top 4. I need to see visible improvements in the way that we play. I'd like to see us dominate games. Like, fuck yeah, Fulham came to the Bridge and battered us for 90 minutes. Willian was probably man of the match. He's 34, and
He
that's
wrote
been
about the
years
years.
testing him out when he
Yeah,
was
he
at Chelsea.
looked good. He looked good. to be
Willian
fair.
was more effective than Mudryk. It's mad.
That
Yeah,
Paulinho
that
guy or
was
whatever was good.
Mudryk's first start since November, so it is what it is. I don't.
But
know.
did Willian score against you at Craven Cottage to win him the game?
Yeah,
No, it was.
yeah, he did. Because
yeah,
everyone knew he was going to
yeah.
cut inside on his right, except Azpilicueta, who's played
Mm.
for him for years. But whatever.
Yeah, Mudryk will be. Like I said, it's all banter, isn't it? Mudryk will get into confidence. But like I said,
No, I hope he don't, mate. I'm telling you now. You all know what I think about him. I'm liking what I'm seeing right about now.
bro,
it was a
listen, he stacked the
slingshot
place
Friday,
out, man.
It was. What was
He
that?
stacked the place out, man, in that first half, man. Obviously, he got hooked off. He'll be the kind of fall guy in it, and obviously, he does need his time. But listen, I don't know the physicality of the league. He has to get used to it. Like it's not going to be where Ukrainian league where you can get past 3 or 4 men. Like you're gonna come across men who want to just kick you out and
New
obviously wanna-
Gakpo incoming.
I think we didn't pass the ball to him enough, to be honest, because he had the second least touches in the first half, other than Kepa. But I also think it's because we played in deeper, and also the one time he made a good run, who did the ball have to drop to? Mason Mount, and what did he do? Overhit it, typically. So it's like Mudryk is gonna struggle. I'm gonna give him time anyway because it is a new league, but that was also his first start. I think most of the other new signings look good. Enzo looked really good in his debut. Madueke looked so good in the second half. He needs to start against West Ham, personally. Badiashile, still 3 clean sheets in 3. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Has been unbelievable since joining us. At the very least, I'm confident in Chelsea defensively. I think we can keep a clean sheet. Everything further forward is just whatever.
Martin in the chat says the ghost of Kiev. That's what he is. It's a mad
the
thing.
slander names have been rough, bruv. They're calling him, like you said, Midrick. I heard Chernobyl, Pepe, all sorts of madness.
Wow.
All sorts of madness.
The ghost of Stamford Bridge is all rolling out now. Bloody hell.
Everyone was doing up Agent Jorginho, and he didn't even have that bad of a game for you guys when he came on.
It was 1.5 games, right? He's only played 1.5 games, so it's
yeah. I don't think he's played the 90 minutes for us.
Nah, he hasn't.
He hasn't played 90 minutes. No, he hasn't played 90 minutes. So we'll see, man. But there will be a microscope on him every game, like every other, like it's been with Anthony. Every single game, he's had a microscope on him, and you know what I mean. Everyone wants to see him obviously fail, innit? It's one of them. You have to just live up to it. And I think Mudryk will do that. He'll start to learn that, every week I'm seeing comps, I'm seeing madnesses online. So you got to be ready for it. And Reece James as well. He looked a bit off, man. Was it right to start him? Like, he looks very off.
I don't know why we did it personally. Like the one thing we should have learned from the Bournemouth game, that when we brought him in and he instantly got injured, was don't throw him straight back into the lineup. And we did that. And Reece was getting cooked on the right side. Like, he needs to get back to sharpness. And how you do that is you bring him off the bench initially. I don't know why Chalobah was benched, because, he's not a right back, but we've had 2 clean sheets in our last 2 games since we put him in right back. He was doing his job defensively. I don't see why we did it. If anything, I think we started Reece out on a bad front now. Now he needs to get himself up into form as well as sharpness. But that one's on Potter. Potter's got to own that one because that was a silly decision. I don't know why we did that.
Listen, time will tell, man. Time will tell. But listen, people, there's still just under 700 of you in the chat. You know what I mean? Big up to the community. Make sure you guys are liking the video, man. It's bottom right-hand corner. It's free to do so. It doesn't cost you a penny. Please smash a like if you enjoyed the content. Big up to the chat for always tuning in. Big up to Premsy TV. Big up, bro, for coming on.
No, respect, bro, man. The chat this week, I'm telling you, it's hilarious. I'm not going to lie. You sit there and you look at it and you want to pick out loads of comments, but obviously there's too many to pick out, but there's a few in there that are funny, man. But nah, good show, good chat, good people to talk football with, bro. Look forward to it every week, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Big up Carefree Lewis, man.
Yeah, big up. Love for having me on as always. Big up the chat. Always got jokes. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, we've won a game. Hopefully, but I won't put money on it. But yeah.
There you go. There you go. Big up Carefree Lewis. Make sure you follow his channel. Obviously, big up to Patrick in the building. Big up, bro.
Yes. Yeah, Tottenham are back. That's our first win against a top 16 this season. That is crazy. Needed to happen. I'm excited. Looking forward to Leicester, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Hopefully we can push on, get back into that top 4. And yeah, it's been great. I've been looking at the comments as well, like Premsy, some funny guys in there. But yeah, man, all good, all love. Thanks for having me on yet again.
Absolutely, man. Big up to the community. Yeah, definitely, man. Pray for Turkey. There's a link in the description, people. If you want to donate, just giving page. So you know, what I mean, any support is needed. So go and do that, people. Syria as well. So yeah, man. Big up to the community, man. Big up to anyone struggling around the world. And yeah, man, I'll catch you probably tomorrow, match day. So yeah, we got Leeds tomorrow. So match day content tomorrow. And yeah, man, we'll see you next week. Best of the rest show. Take care, guys. Bye bye. Peace.